Hello guys, it's been a while, didn't have plans to get out of my cave of sadness, but since Quake Champions Doom Edition version 3.0 came out recently, seemed like I didn't have a choice but to review it. So, despite not having much time, I really wanted to make this review, and in the end I've made it, so enjoy watching. So what is this mod? This mod is successful try to bring Quake Champions into the old Doom with some touch and a few things. People are considering this mod to be one of the best mods for Doom, and indeed it turned out really good. Fans of retro shooters would definitely like this one, and even if you are not into old first-person shooters, just give it a try, because this mod perfectly replicates a feeling of playing Quake Champions, and it even adds to it. What got me hooked about this mod is an ability to have a few different movement physics, most importantly the one from vanilla Quake 3, but it gets deeper than that, and more than that a bit later. This mod brings a good variety in characters, in maps, and even in weapon skins, all of that from different id Software games, and actually not only from id Software games. What important is everything fits together, not breaking core Quake Champions mechanics, where each champion has different stats, hitboxes, and has an ability to cast an ability. You know, like each character has a specific superpower that can be used during the game, and it is on cooldown, so you cannot spam it. Now let's delve a bit deeper on what this mod has to offer. Apart from multiplayer, it has two main single-player game mods. One of them allows you to beat the main Doom campaign with the Quake Champions mechanics and weapons, as well as with new characters and with some tweaks that make game even more interesting. For example, you can have different sets of monsters from different games on each map, like from Quake 1 or 2, etc. Or you can even install your own custom monster pack. In this single-player campaign, you can gain different upgrades for your weapons, and you can gain delayed power-ups. This game mod is balanced for each character to make it feel fair and interesting, but the place where the most of the fun hidden is the second single-player game mod and the multiplayer. The second game mod is where you can play campaign similar to Quake 3 Arena single-player campaign, kinda like multiplayer arena fights where you have tiers and you need to beat other champions like you in each tier, that kind of thing. This campaign brings a good list of maps to play, and you'll be playing deathmatches, team deathmatches, instagame, rocket arena, etc. The mod offers few other game mods that you can access via skirmish menu. Some of them are survival, cooperative, invasion, reminds me of playing Serious Sam. Also there are Capture the Flag, Elder Souls, Defrag, Free Stack, so you do have options. Now, where the game shines for me, as I mentioned earlier, is the character movement physics, and it's not only one physics for all characters, no, but rather different movement physics per each character with some differences. And you can have those different movement physics in the same match. For example, you have a regular Doom movement where your character slides a bit after they stop, kinda like low friction movement. Champions with Doom physics can strafe jump, and you can gain speed as you're doing it, which isn't present in all Doom by default. Also you have VQ3 physics like you had in Quake 3 Arena game, kinda high friction movement, where your character immediately stops moving after the movement key is released. Obviously you have strafe jumping here as well. Also you have CPM, so-called challenge promote physics, where you can control movement direction of your character while in the air. And it's not everything about the physics that you can have. Imagine that you have this guy from Unreal Tournament game, and he has its own physics. He can dash and lift jump as he could in Unreal Tournament games. It's really cool what devs did by adding stuff from different games, and Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament, those are two games that you might consider to be competitors in their time, and today it's like it doesn't matter because they are both in one basket, both are old retro first-person shooters, so why don't we play together? So this mod idea to combine those is really cool. If you would want that, this mod have option to totally override movement physics and weapons for all champions to be like it was in Unreal Tournament, but that's optional. Now, continuing about movement physics. VQ3, Doom and CPM, those were three main movement physics, but there is more to it. You have like some really cool movement ideas implemented per character. I really wanted to say at least a few words about it. For example, you have a below crouch sliding, same as Slash and Quake Champions had. This is one of the hardest movement in the game, but it's so rewarding and fun to play with. If you're doing everything right, you can accelerate really fast and zip around the map and attack while making circles around your enemies. Also, there is this cat character. She has this movement that feels really light and she jumps really high, and while in the air she's falling a bit slower than other characters. And if you think about it, it seems like this character can be easy target because of that slow jumping. She could be easily picked up with the rail, but it feels kind of balanced because if you are in the air, you can get to the ground faster if you hold crouch. This crouch boost suits that character and it adds a new different game style. You can, for example, make really low hidden jump pads, jumps, well, whatever you come up with. And there are more of those small movement changes per character. Also worth mentioning, there are characters that can change their movement physics during the game for a short period of time as part of their active ability. Some other character movement that I really wanted to mention is this character called Zidak. He's a very heavy character, you can feel it. The sound effects complement his movement. When he lands from high altitude, some puff of dust appears after he touches the ground. Because all of that, you really feel his heaviness. He deals damage to his enemies when he heavy lands like that. A bit hard to control, but really cool character and very fun to play. Now let's talk about tricks for a bit. Quake games were always having that high learning curve in terms of advanced movement and tricks. The simplest of them and well known for everybody is probably rocket jump. Quake Champions Doom Edition inherited tricks from previous games in the Quake series. Some of those tricks are available to all characters, some of them are distributed among few, some were simplified and few more added. For example, all characters can circle jump and straight jump, except maybe Unreal Tournament guy. And all of them can do tricks like rocket jump, plasma climb and plasma jump. Well, that's expected, those are general movement tricks that were in Quake for a while. Plasma jump was simplified here comparing to Quake 3 version of it, where it was way harder to do it properly. And this mod it's easy and I think it is good because people would be able to use it more often, so it will add more style to the game. There is also overbounce trick, but it is only available to orb character and it's not perfect overbounce as it was in previous Quake games. It feels a little weaker, but you can do overbounce whatever you want without any struggling at all. Just hold crouch button and you will automatically overbounce on your landing. It doesn't require from you to look for specific spots on the map where overbounce will work as you would need to do in Quake Arena. And it becomes more practical as you can use it anywhere. All you need is just a bit of high ground, so this addition is good. Tribal jump doesn't seem that useful for me since plasma jump is very easy to make and I'm doing it instead if I have plasma gun, but you have option to do it. Edge jump is only available to Bitterman, but it is there if you want it. And same as with overbounce and edge jump, other movement tricks are available as passive abilities of some champions, similar to well-known Nick's wall jump or Doom's double jump. Another thing that made movement a bit simpler is that you don't have to press jump every time you land to do straight jumping. You just need to hold it, kinda like half-automated jumping, which from one point of view can be seen as bad by some players, but advanced Quake movement was already hard enough for whole time and those small changes can really make a difference for new players. I used to press jump every time I land, so I didn't like it at first, but after all I do enjoy it while doing air control with the CPM characters. Also, auto jump allows you to efficiently climb stairs without losing any speed. It doesn't require from you those unhuman hyper taps of jump button when you're going up the stairs. Tell me what you think about it. In this mod there's plenty of characters for you to choose. Each has its own active and passive abilities, its own movement, its own max speed and acceleration, different armor stats, different hitboxes. They are divided into light, medium and heavy champions. You will recognize some characters from Quake Champions, but just so you know, they were changed a bit in this mod, so you won't have the exact copies from Quake Champions. You can click here to access the character information to see their stats, and you can get there while in the match as well. A lot of characters have unique sound design, like Freeman for example. He beeps the same way as he does in Half-Life when he dies. There are different footsteps sounds for most of the characters, which adds some identity to them. Also, you have different tones for each character that you can use during the game, and there is option to make it automatic based on some chance.
What a mess.
There are plenty of characters from different universes like Duke Nukem, Serious Sam, Freeman from Half-Life, there is a main protagonist from Painkiller, and there is more. Creation that combined so many content from different game universes that related to each other only by being retro first-person shooters is probably possible only in mod, and this mod takes advantage of that. So this is why we have this masterpiece in the end. I don't remember playing any game in recent time that gave me that feel of a character where you so resonate with it, it's like you're forgetting you're playing the game. I think it's mostly because of movement physics. It's like you can feel the character with your guts, which is very nice because you're getting sucked into the game, and this is what makes it good. Quake Champions Doom Edition mod has plenty of maps to play, which are well made. There are maps from Quake 1, 2, 3, and 4, Quake Live, Quake Champions, Unreal Tournament, Doom. In fact, there is even a clone of Deep Embrace map from Quake Champions that is made in Minecraft style. What I really like about the maps that they have those low resolution textures and blocky simplified layout, and because of that there is nothing that could distract you from the game, and at the same time like everything that you would need is there. Talking about weapons, all weapons feel and look like they straight from Quake Champions, but with very nice pixelated look. Nothing much to say about weapons that you probably don't know. The main Quake arsenal is there, but it is closer, probably identical to Quake Champions rather than any other Quake game. What I mean is, for example, you have a machine gun that deals more damage when zoomed in and becomes precise but shoots slower. Or you have starting weapons and you can have upgraded versions of those weapons. It is as in Quake Champions. Weapons and items are color-coded, so you can see what weapon or what ammo you're picking up just by seeing its color. Devs added cozy voxel look for items by default since version 3.0. I love it, you really feel like you're eating that mega health when you play with the voxel items. If you want that off, option for that is available in the settings. In that case you will only see 2D sprites of items. The mod has a lot of skins for weapons, so you can change it to whatever you want. You have skins from different Quake games, from Series M, from Half-Life, and there are some original skins that go with the mod. And if you change your weapon skin, then it will change the sound for that weapon as well. It will change the look of projectiles, so it really makes the difference of how weapon perceived as you play. But it's only decorative change, stats of weapons are not changing. Devs said that they have no plans to add skins, but they added those anyway, which is really nice. Another fun thing is if your enemy is using a skin, you will hear sounds and will see projectiles specific for that skin. If you are spectating other players, you will see what skins they are using on your screen. Because of that, in one of my online games, it was really nice to discover that I'm playing Quake with some Half-Life fans. In previous Quake games there were no so-called champions with unique abilities, and you can think of those games as being somewhat balanced, as all the stats, enemy models were the same for each player. There were no special abilities, everything was so identical that there was almost nothing to balance after damage output is balanced. The final touch was more about map layout, respawn spots, item timers, etc. The introduction of characters with its unique abilities into a Quake game shifted things a bit since Quake Champions came out. Not everyone liked the idea, but it doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. Adding something new, adding variety is what also makes it fun. You know, it gives options and adds unexpected situations. Yeah, some part of the game started to depend on a chance rather than a skill, and if we talk about duels, it is even more important. So now balancing the game required even more effort, and we are facing the same issue here in this mod. Having different characters in a Quake feels similar to having a huge variety of characters in some fighting games. Does it mean those games are perfectly balanced? Well, usually they are not, nevertheless they are still fun, and it's not an easy task to balance things out. There are always some characters that are used to being favorite and are better than others in one thing or another. So in this mod I think it might be similar. It seems like some characters have better performance on one map, while others will have advantage against specific opponents. So where does the perfect balance start? You can say it's right here in the character selection menu. As a joke, we might consider the game to be perfectly balanced if we can pick any character regardless of what our opponent picks. But if to take it serious, it is a complicated topic. Things should be balanced. It is hard for me to judge whether this mod is balanced enough or not. I leave the topic of balance open without forcing any point of view. I wonder what you think about it. It is worth pointing out that devs are taking the topic of balancing for duels quite seriously. For me, Quake Champions Doom Edition feels balanced enough. I'm not playing that good to feel all the small differences in balance, and I haven't played it that much. I would like to spend more time playing duels to be able to say more, but as for now, hard to judge. Nevertheless, the mod is a lot of fun. Now let's continue to talk about other things that the game has. Settings in this mod are simple and straightforward. You don't necessarily need to write complicated config files to be able to play. Everything that you need is in the settings. You can even set up different zoom levels for different weapons in the menu, really useful. There are settings for enemy color outline, crosshairs, view and weapon bobbing, a bunch of other good options, and I'm glad they are present. Graphics is old looking with pixelated textures. There is even an option for some more complicated lighting. It doesn't change much but looks coherent with everything else that's in the game. Music is really good, written by Michael Markey, and it includes his original songs and some covers as well. Bots in the game are very decent. They do pretty much what you expect them to do. They use abilities, use weapons according to distance. They even made me believe they changing weapon to rail while breaking line of sight with you. Overall, they do play good, not super hard, not super easy. Sometimes the bot can stuck against the wall, but as far as I understand, it's rather engine limitation than a bug. If you have some experience with games in Quake series, it's not like it would be super hard to beat those bots on a nightmare difficulty. For me, completing a game on a nightmare took only a few levels where I had to replay them, though last level was a bit annoying. It is possible to add tougher bots to your game with the console command if you write names of well-known Quake players. You know, playing games with bots can be fun and all, but usually not as fun as playing with friends. And here comes the beauty of LAN and net play. One of the best features that come with this mod is an ability to host a server of your own, the ability that often gets to be cut out from modern games. There are some servers hosted here and there so you can play with the real people, but seems most of the time those servers are populated with bots, and once in a while you can see people gather to play. I managed to play a few games like Instagip, few death matches and some duels. Overall, it is a very pleasant experience. I tried to play on a few servers that were far away from me, and it seems that netcode of the engine handles ping of 140 milliseconds, which I had quite well. Though for duels it's a bit harder to play. I know I'm bad at duels, but still. In death matches I'm not even noticing that ping. But if you play on a low ping server, the experience is smooth as butter. There is Discord server of the mod. I'm sure there should be some info that I'm missing, maybe some tournaments, maybe there's some schedule when people gather to play. You can check it by yourself. For netplay, there is additional piece of software called Doomseeker. It is a handy server browser that works on a variety of operating systems. You can see how many real players, spectators and bots on the server. If you want to set up one of your own servers, there is a guide for that in the PDF manual that comes with the mod. For me, it seems like this mod is perfect fit for local area network parties and playing with friends. It's truly amazing if you think about how much devs achieved out of that old Doom code. This is what love and effort can do. It is like magic. Engine doesn't have an old Doom limitation where it wasn't able to have floors above other floors. Levels do have a complicated 3D layout. To play the version 3.0, you will need Q Zandronum engine specifically developed for this mod with improved netplay and with other goodies. It is possible to run previous versions of the mod on GZ Doom engine, but version 3.0 of the mod is only compatible with Q Zandronum. So you might ask, why would you want to play this if you have Quake Champions at home? Well, main reasons that I could think of are you have a lot of content, rebalanced characters, high frame rate, healthy for potato computers, ability to host your own servers, no wasting time while waiting for your game to load, no need to have internet connection if you're playing with bots, big map pool, easy to add new maps, open source engine, no paid loot boxes, you have plenty of skins from the start, you have great crossover of characters, maps and weapons, plenty of game mods, including those that Quake Champions is lacking, like defrag, freestack, etc. You have a really nice call vote system that you can access via menu. You can change maps on the fly with no waiting while being in the match, and you have possibility to modify the mod even deeper. What do you think I missed? Worth to mention that this mod wouldn't exist without Quake Champions. So do try it for yourself or not, definitely worth a try in my opinion, even if you cannot handle games with retro graphics. Don't be discouraged by that, the game has an amazing gameplay. I hope I gave you enough reasons to try it out. It works on Linux, it works on Windows, it works on Mac. In fact, I heard it's possible to run it on Android as well, I didn't try it. Engine is open sourced, you don't even necessarily need original Doom files, you can go with a free Doom bot. You can download a version of this mod for Windows that works out of the box, or you can download the mod files and set it up by yourself for Linux and Mac. If you want to know more, there is a manual that comes with the mod where you can read in detail about different aspects of the mod. Okay, so that was it. Thanks for watching. Do try this mode out and let me know what you think about it. It will be interesting to hear some opinions. Also, maybe I forgot to mention something you think was worth mentioning, or maybe I made some mistake. You can tell it in the comments as well. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like and subscribing. And for me, it's time to get back to my regular routines. Till next time, over and out.